Hey guys, it's kind of a late night, so let's do a video, right? Let's do it on this guy right here, the SIG MCX Spear. Today is the 180th day I've owned this firearm, so it is exactly 6 months, and I've owned this enough to be able to kind of figure out what you should do, what you shouldn't do with the MCX Spear. So let's just go front to back, talk about what we've done to it, and kind of go from there. First and foremost, this MCX is the full length 16-inch commercial model, not a 13-inch SBR, and not a pistol. It never started its life as a pistol. This started its life as the actual full-on rifle model. Maybe I'll throw a picture in here of what it used to look like, but now we've cut the barrel down to 13.9, pin and welded Surefire War Comp, and we've had to open up the gas port to 0.07 or so, 1.8 millimeters. So we had to open that up, and that was an update 2.6. So give that a view if you don't mind. That way you can see it function with the shorter rifle length, the full rifle length barrel. And I can tell you this shoots so much better now that it's short. It's kind of odd. You know, most guns you'd think would shoot better with a longer barrel, but this is, for one reason or another, one of those guns that shoots better with a shorter barrel. So, and it's plenty accurate. I've got about 300 to 400 rounds through this. A lot of the time I had to spend waiting, getting the barrel cut, and 308's just expensive. So hey, it is what it is. I'm not a paid YouTuber, so I can't just afford to dump like 9,000 rounds or whatever everyone else does. It's just not realistic. So in 400 rounds, however, this guy has run flawlessly. And I average about 2 MOA. Doesn't sound great for a $4,000 rifle, but you got to keep it in context, right? This was meant to be a military rifle, in which M16A4s and A2s still are held to like a 4 to 6 MOA standard or whatever, that super crazy like that. So I think 2 MOA is plenty fine for most applications. Anyhoozle, so yeah, cutting down, pin and welded. I think that's been by far the most significant improvement to this gun. Having the long rail, I think, is something that's also kind of frowned upon, I guess, but it actually is more functional, in my opinion, than having the shorter handguard of the 13-inch SBR. Now, this one, you get essentially 1 inch longer barrel, and you get 1 inch longer of handguard, right? It makes a lot of sense. But with that handguard, as you can see there, we're mounting all sorts of accessories, right? You got Surefire Scoutlight Pro, the Holosun HE or LE420 is still off my other AR, an AFG, and then on the other side, if we did mount it on top, this would go back here, but Unity taps. So now I can control, the light, and I can control laser. I don't want to turn it on, but trust me, it works. Anyways, so now you have a full night fighting setup, right? You can do all your IR, night vision, what have you, and at the same time, you can also illuminate normal white light things. So, yes, I still rock back bar and sights on everything. Besides rather have it and not need it, rather than need it and not have it. But besides that, I just think it kind of completes the look. And it is a functional piece of equipment too, right? You always got to learn how to practice using your irons. Things break and you never know. So these are the SIG tread iron sights, meant for the M400, but they're perfectly functional on here too. Still running the B5 ribbed polymer rail covers or M-lock covers. I think these are fantastic. There's nothing really funky about it, trying to stick it in there. There's no like screws or anything. It's literally just a friction fit, goes inside, and it has like a little tab on the inside. Yeah, great. Anyways, moving on. Upgraded our hardware up top. So now we're rocking the Vortex Razor 1-6 Gen 2E. So this is the 21 ounce version of the scope. This is awesome. Can't believe I didn't get one of these earlier, but 1-6, second focal plane, works fine, and it's, like I said, that delicious peanut butter color, really cool. On the lower receiver, haven't really done much, and this leads us to our first recommendation besides the barrel chop, right? The first recommendation that I think everybody should do, regardless, I guess, of whether you want, it doesn't matter. You should take the firing pin, or the firing pin safety mechanism thing out of the back of the bolt carrier. Refer back to one of my old videos, but there is a kind of like on an HK 416 or a lot of these newer guns come in. It's a little kind of dangle that prevents slam fire or whatever you want to call it. But in a 308, how often is that really going to happen, right? I venture to guess 0, because I don't know any other 308 gun out there besides the MR762 probably that has that little dangus in there. So it's very easy to take out. It's 2 pins and you just pull everything out. It takes less than 30 seconds to pull out. But now what that does allow you to do is now it allows you to use every AR-15 trigger known to man. So like Trigger Tech is what I'm running in this guy right now. I've tried a Geisley's work. I've tried a LaRue's work too. So every AR trigger now works because you've taken out that little useless dangly bit. Now, if you want to leave it in there, that's all, that's great. You just have to use any AR-15 trigger that has a tail. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let's see if I can't find something here. This is what I'm talking about, right? It's got to have at least this little extension in the back, this tail. That's the only thing that defeats that firing pin safety and allows your rifle to fire. So, yeah, besides that, I just highly recommend take that little bastard out. It's going to do you nothing but cause you problems. And then on top of that, every time you disassemble the gun and take the firing pin out, now you got to defeat that thing. Whereas I just pull the pin, or I pull the cross pin, and then it all comes out, right? It's super easy. So you're kind of making your life easier 2 or 3 ways in one step. 2, if you want to switch out the trigger, switch out the trigger. That's on you. I like Trigger Tech, so I switched over to the trigger. So, gosh. Sling mount options, really quick. Still using a Magpul RSA QD in the front, and on the back, just got it plugged into the buttstock, or the QD at the rear of the receiver. QDs are great. In this, the only problem I have is QDs up here are probably a little too weirdly placed. I saw some promotional images where the QDs were kind of in the back, kind of like how the old MCX Virtus was. I think that would have been a better option than putting it on the kind of side here. Not saying that these aren't functional, but my hand's there, Can't really do all that if QDs get in the way. Thing I absolutely love about the QDs on this gun, though, they're all rotation limited. So this one here, they're all rotation limited. So that's great, right? Prevents your sling from rotating and bunching up and doing all sorts of crazy crap. Yeah, really, really cool. Still using the Magpul Mo SLM, or the SLM stock, whatever you want to call it. One, it's NGSW correct, right? Another thing I've tried, and I don't know if it's really correct, is the Viltor iMod. This is used on the original prototypes for the NGSW. The only difference is, one, the battery tubes are super large. I've seen the promotional footage, they just remove battery tubes, but then it opens you up to all this zigzag crap here, and that kind of is agitating. But yeah, Viltor iMod, that'd be cool too. But SLM, I don't really have any complaints with it now. Before, when I had the full 16-inch barrel, for whatever reason, this thing recoils like you wouldn't believe, right? Now that, one, it's shorter, and then we've kind of tuned in the gas system just a little bit more. This is a perfectly acceptable buttstock for this rifle. It's not terribly large, and it does make the balance of the gun kind of wonky. It kind of balances right about, essentially right at the front pivot pin. Anyways, this works fine. Got a Magpul QD M-lock thing in the back. I used to run it off the buttstock. Maybe I'll just go back to doing that. Folding mechanism, super easy now. Now that it's kind of broken in a little bit. I will say, if you have your QDs set incorrectly, it will interfere with how the stock folds. So what I mean by that is like that, right? So also, it's pretty hard to find stocks that are kind of flat enough for it to actually retain. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna try. I guess there is a little retention there. All right, well, that's cool. Anyways, buffer tube, rock solid, awesome, right? What else do I want to talk about? Shoot, let's talk about the finish. That is something I'm having issues with. The finish of the rifle, it's a anodized flat dark earth, or anodized coyote, or whatever you want to call it, but anodizing is kind of thin, right? Let's see. Boop. There you go. See, even at the front there, it's already starting to scuff off where the stuff is. The other side is even worse. It's already scuffed. That was scuffed off at the box. On the back side, just kind of like your AR-15, expect this little charging handle spot to kind of scuff up a lot. And this is with me using the side charging handle quite a lot. So that easily scuffs. Besides that, the rest of the rifle kind of scuffs a little bit easy. As you can see there, at random scuff marks, big scuff mark on the charging handle. It just scuffs pretty easy, but if it's not a safe queen for you, it's not a safe queen. So yeah, just be aware, it's gonna scuff. Before I forget, my most favorite feature, right? The side charging handle. Absolutely awesome. Like for those Spear LT owners out there that are like, I don't know why you would ever use a side charging handle and yada yada, that's a stupid feature. You clearly have never used this side charging handle for this rifle, because this is by far one of the coolest features. One, it folds out of the way, so you don't have to use it if you don't want to. But two, look at that amount of surface area compared to this little tiny latch back here, right? Great for mortaring. I feel so much more secure just racking this back as hard as I can. Stays out of the way, works perfectly. Kind of very nicely broken in now. So yeah, very, very cool. So would I buy this again? Absolutely. I'd buy this again in a heartbeat, twice, 3 times over. This thing is wicked cool, and I feel like this essentially addresses every issue SCAR owners had for the longest time. I have a SCAR, so I'm very familiar with a lot of the stuff that they're talking about. And this addresses every single one of them. So I think it's just the price tag that's really killing people. And I don't disagree, right? $4,000 is a lot of freaking money for a gun. But with that being said, let's talk about some of the issues that SCAR owners have had. First and foremost, FN void your warranty if you put a suppressor on, right? Well, this is designed to be suppressed, SIG suppressor or otherwise, and they even give you the setting for it, so they encourage suppression. That's awesome, right? Two, for a lot of SCAR owners, right, and me included, everyone ditched the quad, the plastic Picatinny rails and the bottom Picatinny rail for the SCAR. Everybody that I understand, besides those that are trying to emulate a Mark 17, they bought a KDG MREX or something to that effect. Well, guess what this is about? I mean, that's essentially what it is, right? It's a longer rail that covers your gas block and all that stuff, right? Gives you M-lock. So, KDG MREX. 3, right? Put scopes on this doesn't destroy optics like the SCAR does. So there you go, problem solved. 4, side charging handle, and this is an issue I had a lot too, especially with EOTechs and other crap like that. Is if you use a side charging handle on a SCAR, especially mine, where I have an old reciprocating charging handle model, and you rack it just wrong, especially with scope mounts like this where you have nuts on the side, you're going to rack your knuckles on that and you're going to end up bleeding. Well, this is far low enough that there is no way you are ever getting close to this unless you are like ripping it over the top like your He-Man, and if you're doing so, then I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, another thing, right? Oh, we didn't even talk about this. This is freaking cool, right? Being able to essentially kind of one hand charge everything back, leash bolt, do all that stuff. That's freaking cool. When I had my LWRC, this is one of the features that I really missed a lot, was just having this right side bolt release, bolt stop. It's very simple in design, but it works. And I think that's important. Anyways, so going back to our previous discussion, the SCAR only had a ping pong paddle on, or the bolt release on one side, and a lot of people bought the Parker Mountain Machine bolt release extender that went through the trigger guard that kind of acts like a bad lever. Well, guess what? This comes with one. Ain't that cool? What else? Yeah, a lot of people bought Parker Mountain Machine pistol grips because the SCAR was incompatible with them. Well, guess what? This one is fully compatible with all AR-15 grips. Forgot. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a good majority of people, it seems, bought the Striker Enterprises or X products or whatever lower receivers for SCARs that took SR25 magazines because they were tired of buying SCAR mags. One, I think that's ridiculous because for the price of one of those SCAR aluminum low receivers, which is $400 or $500, you could just buy a bunch of magazines. Silly, you know, absolutely silly. But this one comes straight out of the box set for SR25 magazines. Awesome. And then last thing, everyone hated the UGG boot. I love the UGG boot, but everyone seemed to hate the UGG boot. So in the back, everyone bought either the Viltor one with a buffer tube, or they bought a JMac Customs Picatinny adapter that could throw an MCX stock on there. Well, guess what? This is an MCX, so it comes with an MCX stock out of the factory or out of the box. Yeah, I have very hard. I have a very hard time in the year 2023 not suggesting people buy an MCX for an MCX spear, whether it be the full 308 or the light. Regardless, I've shot a light. That thing ridiculously low recoil, but it's so hard not to recommend this in 2023, right? This literally is the epitome of modernization, at least for nowadays, until we get the next cool thing. But it's more expensive than a Scar, yes, but for the same price that you're spending to upgrade said Scar to essentially emulate an MCX, you could just buy an MCX. That effectively comes with all the upgrades out of the box, shoots the same round, not quite to the same amount of accuracy that the MCX had. Mine was very easily a sub MOA gun most every day. This one, you're not getting as high of accuracy for it, but regardless, you're still getting something significantly cool. And then on top of that, there is an intrinsic value to this, right? The XM7, I don't think is going to go anywhere. And it's just cool to be able to own kind of a little piece of American history. Now, with that being said, if you don't want to buy this gun, that's fine too. You know, there's plenty of other alternatives out there that make just as much sense for a lot less, right? Ruger SFAR, the POF Revolutions. LWRC makes good piston gun. SIG themselves, and I've shown one on this channel, the SIG 716i, right? I think that's a plenty good rifle for what it is. It's not an MCX Spirit, mind you, but a lot of the stuff the MCX Spirit does, the SIG 716i can do too. Of course, this is competing in the same group and category as that Scar Heavy, or that Scar 17S, MR762A1, just that high top tier 308 semi-automatic rifle. Yeah, with that being said, I cannot say that this isn't a good gun. This is freaking awesome. This is super dope. Super cool. Always a head turner at the range. So yeah, I am immensely satisfied with this so far. I'm actually kind of running out of things to do to this gun, believe it or not. It's probably for the best because it's costing me a lot of money. One of the things I thought about doing, and probably a good idea was to essentially put the Vortex Impact 4000 on top of the Razor here, and really kind of get that NGSW fire control setup out of this. But that's a lot of money, and we're not there yet. So maybe that'll be a one-day thing. But SIG, Spear, go get yourself one. This is constantly sold out, I know, but I don't think anybody buying this is gonna regret it. This thing is freaking awesome. Yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. I'll answer them, do whatever. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the other fun stuff, and we'll keep playing around with this gun and kind of going from there. So, kind of a late night, but just want to share some observations for the SIG MCX Spear. All right, see you guys.